Hello there, Sully here, the retired tanker yanker. Welcome to Transitions, my YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Consider subscribing, please. Like and share these videos. Hey, it's Friday the 13th. Well, you know, somebody once asked Yogi Berra if he was superstitious, and he said, no, I'm not superstitious, it's bad luck. Seems reasonable to me. You know, back in the day, I used to date a woman who was heavily into astrology. Personally, I think it's a bunch of hooey. She informed me that I am something called a Libra. Constantly. Whenever I did something or said something, which I consider profound or personal, she would say, well, that's because you're a Libra. Finally, I had to tell her, well, if a Libra is somebody that thinks astrology is a bunch of hooey, then I guess I am. I don't believe in psychics. They're just con artists, if you ask me. I was sitting in a bar one time, and a psychic was the entertainment for the day. And she came up to me and said, would you like your cards read? I said, no, I prefer them blue. She didn't know what I meant. She didn't get the joke. But it amazes me how much trust people put into psychics. You know, back when I was working, and I won't say where it was, and I won't mention this person by name, except that he was the south end of a northbound horse. He used to call up a psychic hotline from the driver's room. He had run up like $2,000 on his home phone bill and decided he couldn't pay it anymore. So he was using the work line until he got caught. He must have ran up $5,000 in phone calls. The company didn't fire him. They made him pay it back though. But he told me that he was contacting his psychic because he wanted to win the lottery. Now the lottery is another scam. It's a taxation placed on the poor. It's a voluntary tax paid by the poor who don't know any better and they think they're going to win millions and millions of dollars. I've talked about the lottery before, but this psychic kept telling the guy, I have a foolproof system. This is what he told me. He said that his psychic had a foolproof system to pick the lottery numbers exactly, but there was just one thing wrong with it. It was off by one day. So his system was that he could only pick the numbers using his system that came out 24 hours earlier. It was off by one day, but he was working on fixing it. But he proved to him, he says, I used my system, and hey, I picked these numbers, and look, they're the ones that came out. The guy said this to me with a totally straight face, too. I offered to sell him the Brooklyn Bridge. But that's a true story. I swear it on my mother's grave. People will believe anything. You know, I read a recent survey, 18% of people in America still believe that the sun orbits the earth. And I won't get into climate change deniers or flat earth supporters here, but I will get back into astrology. I mean, why do people, especially women, constantly ask me, what's your sign? If I hadn't been told what my sign is, I would have no clue. I don't even know how it's determined what your sign is, but I think it has something to do with your birthday. But one thing I noticed looking in these horoscopes, that the signs are named for constellations. So somebody would say, what's your sign? I'd say Ursa Major. There's no such sign. I said, hey, it's my life. I get to pick my sign, right? They said, no. It's when you're born. I said, so you have to take the sign they give you, right? Yeah. Now, that sounds like communism to me. So sometimes I'll borrow from my previous profession. People will say, what's your sign? I'll say, speed limit 65. Because, you know, being a wise ass is a lot of fun. Somebody said, no, what sign were you born under? I said, well, I was real little at the time and I couldn't read, but if I was to take a guess, I would say that that sign said maternity ward. Well. Now, sports fans are known to be superstitious. I don't have any such superstitions, but don't tell that to anyone around me. Because when the Eagles are on defense and I want a turnover, I'll take my hat turn it inside out. Put it on like this. And I call it my turnover hat. Somebody else tries to do it. I said, no, 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 no. Only I am allowed to do it. It won't work if somebody else does it. Well, there was a fella who did it, but he was a... I allowed him to do it for the University of Syracuse because his son played football at the University of Syracuse. This fellow was a former professional football player, by the way. He played for the Philadelphia Stars of the United States Football League, and he played his college ball at Temple University. His name was Dwayne Bell. I haven't seen Dwayne in a while, but I like the hell out of him. So I told him, I said, for Syracuse games, you can wear the turnover hat. But for Eagles games, I wear the turnover hat. People would say, oh, you've got the rally cap on. I said, no, it's not a rally cap, it's a turnover cap. Rally caps are for baseball. The turnover cap is for football. So they would start, no, 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 don't do it, I do it. It only works for me, but I'm not superstitious. But, you know, Dwayne's son played at the University of Syracuse. His brother played pro football, too. His brother played for a team that I don't like. You know, that team down there from Texas, what do they call them, the Cow Flops or something like that? His brother played for that team. I won't mention his name here, but if you drop a comment and ask who it was, I'll reply to you personally who it was. But apparently some Patriots fans saw him do it, and they wanted to do it for the Patriots games. I actually thought about suing these people. But then I realized, hey, it's only fair. Give them a break. You know, we Libras are like that. For Transitions, this has been Sully, the retired tanker yanker. Happy Friday the 13th, and safe and happy travels.